Hey everyone, welcome back to Play Cascade on another episode of Your Turn. They're in the world of the gaming world, we're just gonna stick with that.
In the world of gaming?
In the world of gaming world.
In gaming world.
There hasn't really been much, but there's a whole lot of weird Elon and Kanye nonsense that we're just not gonna touch.
Yeah, that's not important anyways. This is more important.
Yeah, this is more important. When you peel back that veil, you find out a couple interesting little tidbits that we're going to be catching up on this week, which are interesting ones. It's more speculation this time. It's fun. It's going to be fun. But we're going to go ahead and start. I'm going to go ahead and start it anyway. Mega Man. All right. So to preface this, several website domains that are owned by a company that Capcom hires to get these domains have recently been renewed. Several of them being Mega Man 12, 13, 14, and 15, which it happens for every time they do make a game. They try to secure that stuff. It makes sense. Some people are like, oh, that makes no sense, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean anything. Technically it does, because it was the same company that did that with 11 as well. And
so are these remakes or are these going to be new games?
It's just domains that were re-registered, saying that we still own these website domains.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And basically, this company is like, okay, we do this for Capcom, and they did it for Devil May Cry 5 before it was announced too, so that's how it was leaked and such as well. So there is evidence to that, right? Mm-hmm. On top of that, just recently, Capcom announced that Mega Man 11 is now the #1 selling Mega Man game in all of Mega Man franchises for lifetime sales.
Yeah.
Right? So that would already encourage Capcom to consider making a new one. It would make sense, right?
Yeah.
And next year, 2023, is the 35th anniversary of Mega Man.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of reasons why I wanted to speculate on that, obviously, and that's what I listed. Like, what can be confirmed 100% with this is that obviously Capcom's doing something. Obviously that something's Mega Man related. That right there. Okay. And obviously it's probably going to be for their 35th anniversary.
So it seems
so
it's a collection that
we don't know.
Okay.
I'm just saying, those are the three basically absolute facts. Processing what I just listed. Okay. We know that. What is? We have not a clue. So this is what we're going to kind of speculate on. I'll go ahead and say something. I actually might I'm going to genuinely take a guess, and a bold guess, because you know how Capcom likes to rehash stuff. They're making a new Mega Man game. Yeah, that's bold as hell. But no, I actually think
Capcom being bold, no way.
No way.
They like to play it safe. It's gonna be a remake, and they're gonna ask an American team.
Wait, well, outside Resident Evil, has Capcom really remade anything?
Not really.
Odd silence that actually kind of answered that. Actually, it was weird because we both really sat there like neither one of us can actually think of anything. Outside Resident Evil, outside Resident Evil, they don't have the pattern to remake anything.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if they did, where the fuck's Lost Planet, motherfucker?
I know.
Like, why not?
Or at least make it two.
Make the trilogy. Just port the trilogy, guys. Yeah. Come on. At least test the waters. I would play it again. I would play all three.
I think it bombed so badly that Capcom just doesn't want to touch it. Because after Lost Planet 3, EX Troopers, which is also a really cool game, if you can find it on PS3, or I think it's also on 3DS for some weird reason. It's a really cool, like, if Lost Planet was a shonen manga, basically, it's really cool.
Well, yeah, I think there was a lot of bad choices for 3.
Yeah,
I really think. Now, that being said, I will go on record. 3 was not that bad of a game compared to other Lost Planets. Yeah, total bad, right? But in of itself, it wasn't that bad. It was mediocre. Like, if you bought it on the discount, you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah,
like real talk. It wasn't really bad, but the sales reflected how bad it was sinking.
Yeah.
So Capcom doesn't want to revisit that. And there's another company that's going to come come and mention on that, but that's on another little topic we're gonna mention.
Okay.
But no, I think going all the way back to our original topic, I think Capcom's making a Mega Man 12. I really do. I think, and as much as like a lot of people are like, well, where's X9 and stuff? I don't think Capcom's ready for an X9. 7 and 8 exist, and that's the entire reason why I don't think anybody wants an X9 right now.
Oh, okay.
Basically, X7 was a 3D rendition of it, and it was bad. And then they took that same engine and kind of tried to repurpose it to play in 2D, and then it was also bad. Not as bad, but it was also bad.
It sounds like just as cursed as the Sonic games. Like,
no. Sonic keeps going in weird cycles. Like it gets a really good game, and then it gets a weird mediocre one, and then it gets a bad one, a bad one, and a bad one, and it recycles this thing over and over again.
oh, okay.
So it does that all the time.
So the next one's gonna be bad.
Next one's going to be the weird one, because Frontiers is the good one.
Yeah.
And the last one was the third bad one, which was Forces, which was dumb. It's DeviantArt the game. And so, but for Mega Man, it was just like a slow decline. And then when they jumped over to a new system, it bumped back up, and then a slow decline, and then it just disappeared for a while, and then it did again, slow decline. Like it repeated itself.
I don't know, it just seems like Capcom doesn't know what they're doing, much like Sega. Like,
Well, I think a lot of major companies are trying to figure out the next big thing for themselves. Like Namco, I think you could probably say that too, if it wasn't for Dark Souls being there.
yeah.
Like if it wasn't for Dark Souls just existing, you could probably say that about Namco too. Like, what the hell is Namco doing? You know?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But you know, Capcom's doing well with Street Fighter 6 apparently. So a lot of people are apparently hyped for it. Outside Capcom USA's translations, we like so far everyone's being hyped for it. The fighting game community is being hyped for it. I expect 6 to sell very well.
Okay.
In spite of the weird shit that happens.
Yeah.
I still think it's going to sell very well.
Okay.
So they know what they're doing. It's just that there's so much stuff that, like, if they knew what would be the next major sell,
Yeah.
why wouldn't they just do it?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know, like it's the weirdest thing that where people. It's the weirdest argument. It's like they just don't know what they're doing. Well, technically, they're trying to find out their next big thing.
Oh, okay. I don't know, hype. Just hype the shit out of it for
when they
like
don't
years.
When they don't have a huge major franchise that can just milk to death, they just look ridiculous.
Oh, okay.
They're just like they only have like Sega only has Sonic. In Japan, they also have Hatsune Miku.
Yeah.
But you know, Yakuza, like a dragon and stuff, doesn't really work very well. Persona is starting to be able to be milked here, but it was not for a long time. So you're seeing a lot more Persona everything.
Yeah.
So Sega has 2 franchises. The reason why people are like, well, how come you don't bash Nintendo for it? Nintendo has so many franchises that many people want that when they're done milking one, they literally just go to the other cow that just fattened up and they start milking that thing. From Zelda to Mario to
Smash
Pokemon
Bros.
to Smash Brothers to Animal Crossing to Splatoon, because apparently Splatoon was ridiculously huge now too.
Yeah.
It became one of the fastest selling games in Japan. It became the biggest selling game in Japan, and then it got knocked off 3 months later by Pokemon.
I'm scared to play Splatoon because I've seen all like the crazy gameplay. I'm like, holy shit, I can't. This is too advanced for me to wrap my head around compared to even 2. Even 2, I was like mediocre, and seeing all the advanced movement that
You're just
people
spraying
would
the
do.
walls. I'm helping. Like,
Yeah, I saw this one person. They were on what is it? That little. They were on a moving platform with this weapon, and they were throwing paint, and then they zipline over there, hit them, and zipline back, and then killed another guy. I'm like, I can't wrap my head around that. It's way too twitchy for me to understand.
but Nintendo has plenty.
Yeah.
So when you have people like Sega and Capcom, when they don't really have many that are actually really big to milk, it dries up faster, and it just looks like they're just beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
You know, if Resident Evil was a lot bigger, even though I think it's probably their biggest franchise. If Mega Man was bigger, if Street Fighter was bigger, if Monster Hunter was bigger in other countries other than Japan, they wouldn't look as bad.
Yeah.
They would just be like, oh, you're done with Mega Man. Oh, here's a Monster Hunter. And they just squeeze that until the milk's gone too. And then they're like, oh, you're done with that. Here's a Street Fighter. And people just eat it up. Like, that's exactly what happens with Nintendo, because Nintendo has those IPs. Nobody is like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can't knock them on Resident Evil as well, because these remakes probably are selling way better than all their old stuff combined. I have a feeling. Like,
I honestly, I wouldn't put it past it, but I think Resident Evil 2 remake only rivaled Resident Evil 4's sales.
oh, okay.
But Resident Evil 4 still dominates notably over everything else.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's one of its biggest franchises outside of Japan, and their biggest franchise is Monster Hunter when you include Japan.
Oh, okay.
But those are the only two big ones. But when they're done with those two, like, they're not even that big in comparison. You know, like with Pokemon, when you think about it, when Scarlet and Violet dries up, they're releasing a new remake of Black and White.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, they're gonna be like, oh man, I'm so tired of these guys and proto whatever things, paradox forms. I just want something else. You mean Black and White when we originally released it? Like, oh my god, give that to me. Like,
yeah, there's always that remake half step that before they release the new one.
Yeah,
so.
and maybe even make a Legends again.
Yeah.
Like, they could probably do a Legends Celebi. Like, there was rumors about that before they announced Scarlet and Violet, you know, so... And Legends became one of their highest selling spin-offs.
Yeah.
That just tells you how much they just have that. So anyway, going all the way back to the topic at hand. Mega Man.
Where's Capcom going with this? Yeah.
Yeah, where's Capcom going with this? We gotta stop breaking down what Capcom is. But no, I think it's 12. I do think we're probably gonna be met with some merchandise and stuff. I don't know what it's all gonna entail. I'm willing to bet, because I think it's gonna be a safe thing for Capcom to bet on, is the gear system that they added in 11, which I actually really liked. It's a simplistic gear system.
I know nothing about Mega Man, by the way.
So, the gear system, well, Mega Man's pretty much straightforward. You climb, you do things, you shoot guys, you get power, use that power to basically kill everyone else, because one of those powers are always going to be super ridiculous.
Okay, because the only one I remember playing is the one on PS1.
Mm-hmm.
Was it 5 and 6?
No, I think those would be 7 and 8.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those are the ones that like stand out to me the most. I remember like the PS1, PS2 ones and the DS ones.
I grew up with 3 and 4.
Oh, okay.
Like 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I played 3 and 4 the most.
Oh, okay.
Like Pharaoh Man and Skull Man's music still just ring in the top of my head, and it's just awesome. So is Shadow Man. Like, literally the entire chiptune music system is just amazing for every single one of them. Spark Man too. See, I could just list them off. Anyway, so in 11 they added a new gear system, because now we got a lot of fucking buttons, and Capcom needs to use a couple of them and stuff. So basically it's a hyperspeed and slowdown gear system.
Oh, okay.
So there's some some robots that have like fast moving gears, and you can slow them down, shoot them rapidly, and then like kill them off before weird stuff happens with them. Or you have like hyperspeed, which then like charges your like charge immediately, and you can just like there's unique systems in which allowed it to like really function, but you only had so much energy each time.
Okay.
So you only had a little bit. And I think some of the levels were actually pretty good, and some of the robot master designs were amazing. The music was not as good.
Oh, okay.
But I liked everything else. Like, it was a really solid game. And it was in 3D, but it actually moved the way you would expect a Mega Man like game to move.
Oh, okay.
Like, it wasn't like clunky like X8 was. Like, it was like, why does this feel, for lack of a better word, crunchy?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was bad. And it moves. It doesn't feel as smooth, but it was still very smooth compared to earlier games.
Okay.
So, I'm thinking it's going to be 12. I do not see any reason why they would reach out and do another oddball like collection or anything at this point in time when 11 did so well. Like if Capcom got inspired to make a X9 after 11, that's fine. I'm open to that, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
Gotcha.
Obviously, 11 sold a lot. Capcom wants to capitalize on that. So I think it's 12. What do you think after my stupid ass rants after so many times?
Oh man, I don't know anything about Mega Man. Like, I really want to like it. The problem is, I don't know. It just doesn't really appeal to me. Like, I played 7 and 8, and they're good, but I don't know. That's about it. Like, I want to really like it, but I don't know. They're okay. So I don't hate it or anything.
What do you expect out of this announcement type of thing? Like, what do you expect out of this whole situation? Because I feel like there's something going to be coming up, obviously.
I don't know. Maybe the only thing I can think of is maybe they'll ask a Western, like a America studio, to maybe make something
Way
for them.
forward. Like everyone else.
Oh, okay. So the only thing I can think of is really extreme things is they bring back the original director, Shinji Mikami, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Fuck.
Maybe.
Please forgive me. But the guy who made Mighty Number 9, if they ask him to come back.
Keiji Inafune.
Inafune, there we go. Yeah.
No. Please don't.
If they call Inafune back.
No.
That's only bring Inafune back and then ask a Western studio, one of those two. So
Wait, that's what you think is going to happen?
yeah.
Do you not think of anything else that might happen at all?
For like you said, whatever the next one is, you said 12?
Yeah, 12.
9 or 12, yeah.
So X9 or 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So you think it's going to be a game? It's not going to be anything crazy.
so that or they're just like yanking our chains and they're like NFTs. Like, unfortunately, Capcom's like so tone deaf too. But I don't know. I mean, back again, we
Read
don't
the
know
room.
what
I'm cross-eyed.
We don't. Yeah. Problem is that we don't know what they're doing. At the same time, too, customers are extremely fickle. So
Yeah, and that's another thing. Customers are fickle, and it's not just because like we blame like, oh, it's bad because customers just don't appreciate this game. No, sometimes games are just bad, and sometimes they gotta be shown what a good game is. You know, like Codename Steam. Yes, I'm plugging that again. But for the most part, yeah, like nobody really knows. But like you said, you're not too into Mega Man. Would there be something that Capcom can do to make you like want to play Mega Man? Is there something that you like? Okay, I would like this. Gets me on board.
This might sound dumb, but just a full 3D world, much like a full 3D world that you could explore a Mega Man world. That would be really cool.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, something like Zelda or.
I think that would be a very hard thing to pull for Mega Man, though.
Yeah.
Like, could it be feasible? I don't know, because Mega Man, like, you travel in various big biomes that are so drastically different. It's gonna like, I don't think there's a good enough cohesion between it all to make that really work. Plus, I think a lot of people would be very apprehensive because 3D Mega Mans.
Yeah,
they have a whole record of just not being good at all.
Yeah.
Like they have a record of being worse than Sonic has. Like Sonic still has Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, which for some weird reason everybody likes. But for the most part, like they see a 3D Mega Man like, ew. You know? So
yeah.
But
Let's see, who's Shinji Mikami again?
Shinji Mikami, I think, is the guy who makes Resident Evil.
Oh, okay.
How dare you?
Oops. Right.
Oops. But okay, well, we got that finally out of the way. Let's go ahead and segue into another one about all the rumors and stuff like that. Nintendo. So, just recently, there was a Did You Know Gaming video that was released that kind of revealed a lot of interesting stuff that I think we should still talk about.
Mm-hmm.
That was in it. If you'd like to get more of a detail of what we're talking about, feel free to go to Did You Know Gaming about the F-Zero. It's a more recent one. I encourage you guys to see it sometimes to get the more context of what we're talking about. But for the most part, stuff that was revealed in it was one of the original developers or programmers that developed a game called a studio called Kohai Labs. He admitted that they made a rough prototype in a rough demo that
for the next
F-Zero? F-Zero.
Yeah.
And I think from my understanding it was like repurposed version of GX.
Yeah.
Kind of from my understanding what he was trying to explain. That was already running 16 players with 16 other NPCs, so 32 characters on the track at once.
Holy shit.
Okay? And he said it was running fine, it was running perfectly. Nintendo was very like, we should probably avoid that. And apparently this is not the only time. Like, they've actually nixed. Like, a lot of people know that Fast RMX was at one point a demo for a new F-Zero, and Nintendo said, why don't you just do your own thing? And we then gave them a lot of criticism because it was a very lackluster demo or proof of concept to them. And they're like, no, we don't like this. But why don't you just go ahead and do this? Because there's these things that you need to fix on this for this game to be fun.
Yeah.
And so Fast RMX is still like the de facto go-to for anybody who craves F-Zero, right? Mm-hmm. And what's funny is like they've apparently nicked a couple other ones out because F-Zero GX didn't even sell as much as the F-Zero X did. And people are saying, oh, it sold so much. Apparently it did not.
Oh, okay.
At least not to Nintendo. Like, so that's huge, right?
Yeah.
And the director of F-Zero GX even had more unique ideas and like really like he wanted to do some really crazy courses stuff. And I honestly think the best way for this game to evolve is through the courses.
Yeah.
As opposed to mechanics, because they don't have too many mechanics that you want to you shouldn't put too many mechanics in a game that's running super fast speeds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't need to be doing that. You need to make courses that utilize that speed in unique ways.
Okay.
You know, like I think that'll be the more dynamic experience for F-Zero.
Uh-huh.
Because then you're like clusterfucking everything.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a difference between Mario Kart using anti-gravity parts in their thing and that's still playing like Mario Kart compared to F-Zero. You know?
I still think the craziest part is like they have a big chunk of it done, or at the very least, like he's like, yeah, we just need 5 people to pull this off because they have a huge chunk of it already like finished.
So I think his name is Godard or some Giles Godard or something like that. He said that a lot of it's done. The only thing that you need to really do because how engines are now built so much right now, it's not too hard to have just a couple of really good programmers that you can probably knock out a game like this with 5 people. And Shinin Entertainment, who did Fast RMX, only has 4.
Yeah. Oh well, didn't he show them how to do it? He showed them how to do Fast RMX, I think, right?
No.
Oh, no. Okay.
No. Shinin has had their own thing for quite some time. Like they know a thing or two about it because they did fast racing on the Wii, on the original Wii, and it was received as like the way a way to experience F-Zero without it. Same thing with like a game called Tube Slider, but that was garbage. But yeah, so there's that, right? And he even said that it could happen, and he was going to try to show it off, but he'd rather just have that connection, that relationship with Nintendo, so he never really showed it off. And he talks a bit more about it in the video. But what was really interesting is what was mentioned a couple of times is there's apparently rumors of a new F-Zero coming.
Really?
Apparently.
Okay. I'm really curious.
So
I'm really curious then.
So if all these things get denied, what would this F-Zero be bringing then?
Huh.
What do you think?
So everything from... So all the stuff will be in... It won't be in it?
No. So all the stuff that's been listed in this stuff, and we've talked about, like, Nintendo nixed. Nintendo nixed basically all of it. Like, they didn't... They nixed each one of those projects.
Okay.
So obviously there's a project. If this rumor has any truth to it, there's obviously a Nintendo that reached out and basically asked for this project. What was it if all these other things just got nixed? What type of idea did Nintendo see and go, yeah, that's good, and to make it?
Oh, okay.
Again, assuming this rumor is true, right?
Yeah.
What do you think that would end up being?
Not an F-Zero game. Right?
Not an F-Zero. It's an RPG where he just punches people.
Yeah. Unless it's a Captain Falcon action game, right?
Well, a lot of people wanted that too.
Yeah.
I just want another F-Zero. Honestly, I'm at that point that they could just port F-Zero GX, and people are like, "Oh, we'll get it on NSO." No, it's digital. It's a service part. I do not support that. Get fucked. Get fucked, Nintendo. I'm not doing that. Give me you know what? Give me a physical cart of all your NSO games. Call it the NSO collection, and sell it to me for $70, and I would rather pay that than pay 1 year of NSO. Like, as far as the games go.
Yeah.
I just pay it because it's $20 a year. I just get the games for free.
Yeah.
And most of my aim is just so I can play online.
Okay.
That's it. Because that's what I'm paying for the service for.
Yeah.
I was like, if I lose online, oh well, I still have my other games. That's where I stand on that. Like, I'd rather have the ability to play online, but if I had no online, I want to be able to still play my games.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway,
F-Zero, it's for some reason they don't want to touch it. What's up with that? Like, they won't know announcement. Not even like, oh, well, think about it. They're just kind of like,
and there's a lot of people like, oh, Nintendo just hates F-Zero, blah blah blah. The problem is people aren't seeing the sales.
yeah,
Like, F-Zero GX, as popular as it was, didn't move that many sales.
yeah.
Like,
oh my god, the soundtrack is so godly. If you get a chance to listen to GX's soundtrack, it's just like, oh god.
Well, everybody praises it up and down.
I love the
Everyone
soundtrack.
praises
so
the soundtrack. Everyone praises the characters. Everything about that game gets praised, all up and down.
Yeah.
Okay. There's not a single person that I've ever talked to that was like, no, I kind of like F-Zero X better. No one, not a single person. GX has been the de facto game that everyone who has ever played it loves it. In terms of this like fast F-Zero style racing.
Well, here's the thing though. Every time I had a chance to play it, it was from a used copy. I never bought it brand new.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people who have played it that didn't get, but when you look at the sales, because the only things that matter is how many they were able to move worth the print.
Yeah.
Okay, so they moved that many sales, and it was not as good as Nintendo wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And then they decided to do 2 GBA games, which progressively got worse in sales. One so bad that Nintendo didn't even bother localizing it anywhere. Literally
okay.
anywhere. Not even in the Southeast Asia, not like nowhere where they can just immediately translate it to it. And
Yeah,
just,
even with the help
nowhere.
of Smash Brothers too. Yeah, you would expect it.
And you would,
It would help.
you would think that like it would generate enough sales and enough support that you would probably have seen a new character from Captain Falcon's games in Smash Brothers.
Well, shit,
But you don't
maybe
even
it did
have
do-
that.
Maybe it bombed pretty bad.
Like it likely
Like
did
half a
And
million or
and
under
that's
a million.
six, yeah.
Yeah.
And well, when you think about it, under $1 million during the GameCube era isn't bad.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, $1 million was like holy
$1 million
shit.
was like the de facto like
Yeah.
holy grail for everything.
Yeah.
Now things have to sell like 3 million in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, like it's because budgets have gotten just ridiculous. So when you look at these and I mean progressively worse, like it sold less than half of the previous release, less than half. Like it sold imagine selling so bad in Japan, right? That Nintendo was like, no.
Okay.
Like you didn't even have to translate much crap. Like literally it's just a couple menus. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's it. No.
I don't know,
Like-
just remaster it and just port it and see where it goes.
Just port GX. Honestly, I think
Yeah.
that would be the best thing to do because you will have enough people who've probably played it in rotation and a lot of people talking about it and stuff See where it's at now.
Unless they wrote it off in a tax write-off, and they're like, yeah, we're not gonna say that, so we're not gonna, because when you write something off as a tax write-off, you can never touch it again, or at least like.
Well, it depends based on the intellectual property too.
Yeah,
like
so.
it's more of a weird haziness. You can't just sign off on Bugs Bunny, but you can sign off on like a TV show.
Yeah,
with Bugs Bunny in it, and then they're like, okay, we can't touch that series again. But all those characters can be used, and all that story can probably be used. But whatever, like there's loopholes, right?
But yeah, also petition signatures don't mean sales numbers.
And that's another thing. It's like the stuff with petitions is that people like being like the idea of being part of change.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh yeah, I like that game. I would love to have it available for me to play whenever I feel comfortable.
Oh, it's out now.
Play.
It's out now, actually. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
But like my horoscope doesn't say that I should be buying it today. Like it's stupid. It is basic bitch stupid.
Yeah.
Right.
Or hey, here's some pizza. No, thank you. Aren't you gonna eat it? No, but thank you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and that's really hard to convince Nintendo, because Nintendo's very leery about like old IP a lot, and apparently Sakurai had to really squeeze Kid Icarus out of their hands in order to make Kid Icarus Uprising.
Yeah.
And it sold really well, so props to that.
Yeah.
But like, I think honestly, if they really want to engage the interest of F-Zero, release GX again. Like, see where that goes. Because if they re-release GX and they kind of repurpose a bunch of stuff and then make online, let's see where that leads.
Yeah.
Because it would already cut out a lot of your production problems, because your programming's already right there.
Yeah.
And
unless it fucking bombs and they're just like, yeah, we're never gonna touch it.
Well, if it bombs, okay, here's the thing. If they do that, right, and it still bombs, that's on us. Okay? We talked it up so much. Every single person in the community wins a new F-Zero, wins a new F-Zero, and wins a new F-Zero. There's people who asked Miyamoto directly in interviews, and he's like, oh, I didn't know anybody really liked it that much and stuff. Like, we as a community has been hyping it up to a point that if they even ported the best version of F-Zero and it bombs, that's no longer on Nintendo. That's on us.
Oh, okay.
Okay? That tells Nintendo we're a lying sack of shit. And Nintendo's not going to release another one, because then we're going to be like, where's another one? Where's another one?
Yeah.
No, there's only 12 of you. Stop it.
And there it goes again. People are fickle. Their customers are fickle.
Yeah. And they are. And like that's exactly the point. Like, it's just like they want that idea. They want to be able to have that, but then like when it, like, here's the port of it, they're not going to like support people getting the port. Like, get the port of GX, dude. It's still really good. It's 60 frames per second. It's like locked, dude. Just get this game. It's fun. I'd rather have this right now than not have anything. There's people who go, but where's a new one? This seems lazy. Yeah, after it bombed so hard that you didn't get the last game out of Japan, they're going to take it safe.
Yeah.
So you gotta look at it that way. But rumors, huh? Let's see how that works out. I'm still waiting for that Advance Wars game to get released, you jackasses.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Probably March next year. That's the only thing I think.
Or they get deleted again. Anyway, well, the horoscope says that, 5 more months of war, we're just gonna delay it again. It'd be very awkward if we released it if you invaded Iraq again. Anyway, let's go. Speaking of weird Middle East bullcrap, we're gonna go ahead and segue into the last thing. Indiana Jones 5. So apparently this week, I think it was today on Friday, the Hollywood elite cabal thing, released a new trailer for Indiana Jones, and it's called like the Dial of Destiny or something like that. So we decided to watch that, so we were fresh with our knee-jerk reactions just before we started recording. What's your opinion first?
Well, I heard a bunch of the bad news about it, and seeing it doesn't seem as bad, but it is like woke modern Hollywood, so I'm still treading lightly. They probably just know how to make the trailer look really good, but until you sit your butt in the theater, you're just like, God, this is fucking awful. Like,
Yeah. So what I saw out of the trailer is I noticed that there was a lot of coverage with Harrison Ford in it, right? And supposedly there's going to be some timey-wimey. So the last Indiana Jones kind of foreshadowed Shia LaBeouf kind of taking the role of passing the torch down to his son,
Shia LaBeouf,
right?
yeah.
To Shia LaBeouf's character. And honestly, I was okay with that because it kind of foreshadowed that for the next movie, which it makes sense. Harrison Ford cannot stay alive forever. You gotta eventually pass down that torch. You know, makes sense.
yeah.
But it seems like they're doing some kind of timey-wimey bullshit.
Yeah,
to
I'm skeptical as shit too about that.
Kind of like reset. Oh, we didn't mean it. Like they're trying to erase Shia LaBeouf's character or something, maybe. And I don't know. Like for me, what I've noticed is that Harrison Ford's in a lot of the trailer. Like there's a lot. He's not sidestepped by another person of color or a woman in any way. Now I'm not saying that this is great thing, you know, it just says that for this movie we're going to probably get a lot of Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Old Indiana Jones, but old Indiana Jones. Okay? So we'll probably get
or it's gonna be somebody young.
We'll probably get a
with
lot
him
of
faked all over it, like.
Probably. Well, he's gonna have to have like a stunt double for 80% of what we saw in that. Let's be real. But we're gonna see a lot of Indiana Jones as a character in general.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's to be expected. What they didn't show, obviously, that I want to at least point out is that there is one character that kind of highlighted a couple times that is a woman, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it's like the new love interest or like it's the love interest that ends up being the young Harrison Ford's love interest later and just changes the way the world works and it becomes the daughter of Harrison Ford later on in the end of the movie. I don't know. But something tells me this timey-wimey is going to kind of pull the rug out from under everyone.
Yeah.
Okay? So my expectation is we're going to get a lot of Indiana Jones. We might get a lot of the quirkiness we expect, and we might be able to enjoy it as much as we liked the Crystal Skull, which wasn't that much. I liked some of the like characteristics. Like obviously Harrison Ford still plays his role just fine.
Yeah.
Okay? Like at least he does,
Yeah.
right? So that part was at least enjoyable. The story was garbage, absolute trash fire. So I'm expecting basically the same stuff.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Obviously, I'm going to be going in not expecting a good movie, but I'll probably be able to enjoy the campy cheese.
Okay.
But I do expect at the end of it, they're going to pull the rug, and it's no longer Shia LaBeouf. He messed with the time too much, and Destiny says that you now have a woman daughter that's going to take over, and she's going to be Indiana Jones next. I think that's probably going to be the situation.
Yeah. I believe the same thing too. And she's. I heard the one where it's just like, "Oh, miss, you dropped your hat." "Oh, thank you. Who are you, by the way?" "I'm Miss Indiana Jones," and everybody just fucking cringes.
Ugh, gross. Like you're just probably like going to another movie and you're just walking by that other theater as soon as you're going to your movie and you just hear a collective and you're like, what the hell happened? It's probably that scene.
Yeah.
like you're like, what? Like you just unanimous, just a series in stereo, just I'm like, whoa, fuck.
Well, it's just modern movies have just been so fucking disappointing.
Well, it's because like they're basically encouraged by like the Twitter robots and stuff. Now that Elon's removing all the bots and stuff, who knows what we're actually gonna see now?
Yeah.
You know, but we have a lot of people that are like banning like advertisements and stuff like that over just petty nonsense over social media. So I'm still not going to Twitter. I still can't trust that nonsense. If you see me, you can see me on mines. But yeah, for the most part, it's just I don't know. It's as you would say, like I'm half expecting a lot of the woke stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm expecting it to be very low and suppressed in this movie
Uh-huh.
until the end, and they just like rip the rug out from under you. But you're probably, if you're paying attention, you're like, no. And yeah, we're gonna get cringed on. So, but anything else you want to add to that at all?
Now, other than that, it's been a slow week.
Yeah. Outside the weird Elon Ye nonsense, it's been a mellow week. That
been
stuff's
fun.
been crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, I would like to thank you all for staying put and listening to our little rants and stuff again. If you like our content, feel free to like, subscribe, and share. And
We will see you on the other side.
Hey everyone, this is Paraka.
And Ghost.
I would like to say thank you for listening to our podcast.
If you like our content, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe and share our video with your friends.
You can also follow and support us on other social media such as Minds and Rumble. Links in the description below.